97.7 Radio Airbourne, brought to you in association with our friends at Specsavers. That's Jamelia and See It in a Boy's Eyes. Well, we're certainly a lot wiser about the Hawk this afternoon with all the people we've spoken to from the Hawk display team. Excellent to catch up with them. And I'm joined in the studio now by Captain Ralph Aarts from the Royal Netherlands Air Force. He's going to be flying the F-16 this afternoon. Really looking forward to that.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Hi.
And welcome back to Eastbourne, because we haven't had an F-16 at Eastbourne for a few years now.
Yeah, we're more than happy to come by for this beautiful show. Yesterday we did our first flight, and we have done multiple shows in the UK, but for our team it's the first time in Eastbourne.
Okay, so it's a special anniversary for you as well, isn't it, for the team?
Yeah, absolutely. Not our team, but the F-16 Solo Display exists 30 years this year.
So it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Again, it's another very enduring aircraft, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. If you imagine that 30 years ago the F-16 was already flying and still doing it this time, and also currently employed in or deployed in Afghanistan.
That's right.
It has gone multiple improvements during the years, especially electronic-wise, new systems, new equipment. But the airframe still is the airplane we fly today is about 20 years old, and it's amazing.
It just goes to show that if you get the design right from the start, then it can be improved, and you can have the midlife updates, you can have the head-up displays, all the avionics can be improved, but the basic plane is still as good as it always has been, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the design they made like 30 years ago, and it's still doing great. You can see today in our orange-colored F-16, you will see all the maneuvers. That's what we do during the air show.
Yeah, I have to say it is very striking, because it's like the sort of black fuselage with the yellow orange underneath. It's very easy to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very obvious plane. You will definitely notice it, and it's not a good camouflage.
Yeah.
So it's not at this time you could not go to war with it. Well, you could, but the enemy would see you from miles away. But for show it's excellent. You want to be seen, and this aircraft does a very good job, and especially with the Dutch lion on top and on the bottom of the aircraft, it's a real eye-catcher for the crowd.
Okay, so what has your career been with the Royal Netherlands Air Force?
I started out in '97, as a coincidence, together with the coach who was here as well, Omelet.
Yeah.
We first practiced our military skills, so digging holes and walking around for miles and miles. And after that, it takes about half a year. You have to become a soldier at that time, because we are military aviators.
Right.
And you want to know how to survive in a worst case situation. So that's what you first have to do.
That's it. There's no point in being able to fly if you can't cope when you get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then since '98 I started the flying training back home in Holland. And then in the beginning of '99 did a 2-year flight training program in the USA, flying at T-38s, T-37 training aircraft. And then finally the last 8 months of my 2-year America tour was flying the F-16.
That's it. Obviously not the easiest plane to fly. It must be a very exciting plane to fly. I mean, there's so much power there.
Yeah, it is absolutely a blast every time again. Like you say, there's so much power in there. It's 25,000 pounds of thrust when you open the throttle full up. That is really amazing. It just keeps going, and if you fly low level a hard turn, it will just sustain 9 Gs, which means the aircraft and the guy inside will weigh 9 times as much as you would be standing outside here. So yeah, it is absolutely powerful. On the other hand, the F-16 was designed to fly fairly easy. So if you have enough experience on fast jets, then you will notice that the aircraft is doing a lot by himself. It's fly-by-wire, it's trimming itself out, and that's all done to keep the workload of flying as low as possible, and so the pilot can use and absorb all the information overload you will get in a tactical situation. And so you can focus on those important things.
There's a lot of decisions to make when you're flying, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you're actually in a combat situation.
Yeah, definitely. You have to constantly, for example, just keep an eye on your fuel. That's always a big thing in a fighter jet.
Yes.
You can never have enough fuel. You're flying in a formation, so you want to know what your other team members are doing at that time. In a tactical situation, probably you have to make a target at a certain time, so you need to take into account that you make your timing. In the meanwhile, you get attacked by other aircraft, so you need to fight them or disregard them if possible. So all the decisions, all the information is what you get in your cockpit, and you have to filter the correct information which is important for you at that moment, and that makes it a little difficult.
That's it. So you have to be completely on the ball all the time. If you're pulling things like 9G, you must have to be incredibly physically fit as well to do that.
Yeah, of course. prior to going to the F-16, you get the centrifuge training, so you get used to cope with those high Gs.
Yes.
And it's not only coping with the Gs. In the meanwhile, you still have to fly your plane and not crashing it.
Yeah. So a negative G is very, very uncomfortable, isn't it?
It is uncomfortable, but like I said, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just overcoming to you, and you will feel the blood entering your head, and you feel your eyes almost like popping out, but you just have to sustain it for a couple of seconds.
That's what you're trained to do. Man and machine in perfect harmony.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it does well. The aircraft, it seats very comfortable. The seat is tilted backwards a little bit in the F-16, which makes also for longer flights pretty comfortable. But again, it is hard work during the aggressive maneuvering. Then your body really has the extra strain of the high G environment.
Okay, so you're going to be flying from RAF Manston this afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. How long does it take to get to Manston in a car?
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
How long does it take to get from Manston to Eastbourne in an F-16?
If I really wanted to do it fast, I probably could do it in 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Yep. But then it cost me a lot of fuel as well. So what I'm planning today, because I have to fly for about 50 miles to get here, and then fly my show. I will join up first with the Spitfire to do some passes, and then fly my own show. And then I have to fly back 50 miles to land there. And you can imagine, during the show, about 70% of the time I will using full afterburner, so then the fuel goes really rapidly.
Yes.
And of course, when I land, or prior to landing, I want to have a little extra reserve as well, just in case something happens.
Absolutely.
So I have to fly at a slower speed back, the most
most fuel efficient.
Yeah, exactly. And then you fly about 300 knots, which is about 600 kilometers an hour. That's economical.
Okay, so we've got the main display at 3:44 this afternoon, but you're actually doing a formation with the Spitfire before that.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we got in contact with him a couple of weeks ago, so we planned it ahead. And the very nice thing about it, it's a Dutch colored Spitfire from
wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's like now you have the two Dutch aircraft, the old one and the new one together. So that's really, really good. I think also for the crowd, it's a nice photo opportunity. We will do that every day till Sunday. Just a couple of passes, about 3 to 4 minutes, and then we end up when we come 90 degrees towards the crowd and do a nice pull up and break away from each other.
Really, really looking forward to that. So basically the display with the Spitfire is going to be happening about 5 minutes before. So that's at 20 to 4 this afternoon. Make sure you've got your cameras ready for an excellent photo opportunity.
Yeah,
Ralph
absolutely.
Sheikh Aarts, the display pilot from the Royal Netherlands display team, is going to be displaying the solo F-16 later on this afternoon. Thanks very much indeed for coming into the studio and talking to us on 87.7 Radio Airbourne. I've got a song that I think you'll be quite familiar with now. This is the theme song from Eye of the Tiger from Survivor, especially for all the Dutch F-16 guys.
Absolutely.
Enjoy. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.